What's up, internet goers? Cole here with another Alliance Wake gear guide review for 2022. Right here in front of me, we've got the Slingshot Space Raider by the Space Mob crew. Let's get into it. So this Space Raider is a symmetrical directional wakeboard. It comes in a 160, and this is the third evolution of this directional style board that Slingshot's been coming out with. We were lucky enough to take this thing out to OWC, get a couple spins on it, feel it out, and see what the hype's all about. I can tell you right off the bat, this board is not gonna ride like any other board you've ridden before. It's definitely a completely different feel and direction than your typical everyday board that you're gonna ride. This is not your daily driver. This is something that's gonna add a little flavor to your riding. If you take a look at this shape, you can obviously tell something funky is going on here, and we love that. We've got a big old nose at the top here, and then it tapers down to a smaller, more narrow tail going on. This is a continuous rocker, but I would say that there's more rocker in the nose than there is in the tail. We've also got a lot of inserts on this board. So you can ride this thing centered up, you can ride it all the way back. You know, you kind of have endless options as far as how you want to set it up. Jumping right over to the categories, we're going to look at tracking first. We go 1 through 10. 1 is super loose, 10 is locked in. This Space Raider right here has some pretty sharp edges all the way through the board. Like I said, we taper off, and when you get a bit of a board that's more narrow, it seems to edge a little bit quicker and it locks in a little easier. Not to say that the board can get loose, you can get buttery on it, so this board falls into a 6. My foot was kind of catching when I was going rail to rail and edging around on the board, just on my back foot. I think that's just because the board gets so narrow here. And I don't know if it's maybe spending more time on the board, I could edge better and maybe adjust my edging and not have that hang up, but it definitely wasn't a confident edge every time. But like I said, this is a different board, you're gonna have to ride it different, and that's kind of what makes it fun. Jumping right over to the next category, we're gonna go into pop. We go 1 through 10, 1 being no pop, 10 being way too much pop, which never really happens. But for this board right here, like I said, you have a little bit less tail than you do nose, and the tail's a little more narrow. And for me, I felt like I struggled a little bit to get a consistent pop. Not that there wasn't any pop, but it's definitely not, like I said, it's not like your daily driver, so you're not gonna be able to pop as big as you normally would. I'm sure if you rode this board enough and got a really good feel for it, you could get the pop you needed out of it. But initially, right off the bat, I'm gonna have to go for a 3 when it comes to the pop. The landing category, we go 1 through 10 just like every other one. 1 is gonna be really bad landings, it hurts. 10 is it's butter smooth. This is a bigger board, so you would typically think with bigger boards, you're gonna get softer landings. I was a little surprised on how hard the landings were at times on this board. I think you have to land a certain way. It's almost better to kind of land tail heavy and slap the nose down. It seems to just be a little bit more forgiving. When I would land dead center, I think with the board being a little bit more narrow, it definitely had more of a harsh impact at times. So the landing was never consistent because it just depended on the trick. So for me, this is gonna have to come in at a 4 for landings. The flex on this board is pretty damn good. Typically with any Slingshot board with that vertical laminated wood, it definitely has a consistent flex to it, and that's no different with this board. I enjoyed it. I think the tip is very flexy, and that makes it fun for butters, nose presses, kind of anything you want to do on that. All in all, I would have to give the board a 7. The last category we're going to look at here is slide, and which is how well these boards slide across the features. This board right here, which is a Slingshot, so they're known for their Ballistic Base, you know, the Fusion Sidewalls, so you have a good sturdy platform. As far as how it slides across unit features, it does really well. Occasionally, I think if people are overwaxing some rails, you might occasionally have a weird catch on some of those black pipes maybe, but overall the board slides great and it's gonna last you a long time. As far as a number, I think this is easily a 6 out of 10. And the 6 out of 10 means it's not so slick that you're out of control when you're on the rail, and you're obviously not at a 1 or a 2 to where it's just dragging and you're catching the whole time. So I feel like it's not even in the middle. It's plenty fast and it's gonna be catch free, but it's not too slick to where you're out of control. And I think that, you know, Slingshot has definitely figured out their bases. So guys, that wraps it up for the Slingshot Space Raider. If you guys are looking to have something to spice up your riding and just add a new board to the quiver, this is the option for you. I can say that from beginner to expert, everybody's gonna have a blast on it. And you know, if you want to know more information about it, head over to slingshotsports.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any other reviews coming out. We'll see you on the next one.